Now friends, before going for the next question, there is a very important point that you should know, because based on this topic so many questions are coming in the competitive exams. That point is the only 4-digit natural number. I said the only 4-digit natural number which is in the form of x, x, y, y. That means first 2 digits are same and the last 2 digits are also same, which is in the form of x, x, y, y, and which is also a perfect square. This x, x, y, y should be a perfect square number, and that only number is 7744. And that only number is 7744, which is obviously 88 square. 88 square is equal to 7744. Sir, why this point you are telling? Because so many questions are coming. So once you know this concept, how you can prove it? This one, sir, how can you say that this is the only number which is in that form x, x, y, y, which is why it is the only 4-digit natural number? मैं natural number क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? क्योंकि x 0 नहीं हो सकता. X cannot be 0. If x is 0, that will become a 2-digit natural number. That's why I'm saying 4-digit natural number which is in the form of x, x, y, y, and which is also a perfect square. And that only number is 7744, which is in turn, which is nothing but equal to 88 square. Friends, if you can prove this, not that just I gave a statement and you by heart it, if I can prove it logically, so many questions are coming within 5 seconds. You can just read the question, and since you know this is the only number, within seconds you can put the answer. We will see the proof of it, how this number is the only number which is a perfect square and which is also the only 4-digit number which is in the form of x, x, y, y. Now friends, there are a few points that you need to we need to discuss before going for this proof. Basically, the very first thing is the number is in the form of x, x, y, y. The first thing is it must be divisible by 11. It must be divisible by 11. Divisibility of 11 you know. So x minus y, difference will be 0. Alternate numbers, sum of the alternate numbers, and their difference will be 0 or 11. So that rule is satisfied. Obviously, this number should be divisible by 11. Now coming to the perfect square feature, the feature of perfect square. So we know already there are some points that we learned. What is that? That's why I have written all the square values from 1 to 24. 1 square to 24, all the values results I have written. So if you are claiming a number to be perfect square, one of the very important rule that perfect square should satisfy is the last 2 digits of that perfect square number should match with one of these last 2 digits of these results, starting from 1 square to 24 square. Then only it can be a perfect square, right? That rule you know. So last 2-digit logic, last 2-digit logic also you know. Third point, what is the third point? Last 2-digit logic you know. Third point is very, very important point that we have already discussed. What is it? If you take these numbers 1 square to 24 square, so 1 to 24, if you take any of these 1 to 24, I am not talking about the results, I am talking about 1 to 24. If you take 1 to 24, any one of the number from 1 to 24 as A, so the last 2 digits here also, the last 2 digits of A square, 50 minus A square, 50 plus A square, 100 minus A square, etc. will be same. Will be same. That means if you are taking 13 square, 50 minus 13 square, 50 plus 13 square, 100 minus 13 square, the last two digits will be same. So you know already all of these points. Okay. So just I revised this point. Now coming into the proof. Once you know all these points, we can prove it very easily. Now my dear friends, clearly we can say the last 2 digits must be same. The last 2 digits must be same. So where in the result you can find last 2 digits are same? First one is 10 square, that is equal to 100. 2 zeros you can find here. Okay, x cannot be 0. Friends, I said x cannot be 0, but y can be 0. So because if y is also 0, it will be a natural number. So the only rule is if it should be a 4-digit natural number, x should not be 0. That's all. Okay, now last 2 digits 0. And here 20 square 400. 20 square is equal to 400. There also you can find last 2 digits 0. And 12 square is 144. There also you can see last two digits 4. Last two digits 4, right? So 12 square is equal to 144. There in the units place and tens place you can find the same number, that is 4. So in 10 square and 20 square, in the results you can see 2 zeros. Okay. So now what I am saying, my dear friends, this last 2 zeros, that means there are two cases that I formed. In the last two places there can be zeros. Last two places there can be zeros, or in the last two places there can be 4. These are the only two options. My dear friends, this cannot happen. Why? Because if you are putting 2 zeros here based on the 2 zeros logic, obviously these two numbers are same. How that numbers will come? 1100, 2200, 3300, and so on and so on and so on, 9900 up to here. These are the values you are getting. You will be getting if you put last two digits as 0. If you put zeros in the last two places, the results will be something like this: 1100, 2200, 3300, 4400, and so on up to 9900. Up to 9900. So this cannot be the case, because you see 11 or 22 or 33 or 44 or 45 individually, they are not perfect square. Why? Because very simple logic. See, if last two digits are coming, this number must be a perfect square. 10 square is equal to 100. So 1 must be a perfect square. So here 1 must be, this number also must be a perfect square. Suppose 20 square is equal to 400. 4 must be a perfect square. So 30 square is equal to 900. 9 also should be a perfect square. But clearly you can see 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. No number is a perfect square. So what is the 2-digit perfect squares that you will get actually? Strictly speaking, you will get 4 square is equal to 16. 2 digits perfect square numbers: 25, 36, 49, 64 and 81. 2-digit repeated numbers will not be perfect square. So obviously 1100 will not be a perfect square, 2200 will not be a perfect square, 3300 and up to 9900 you will not find any perfect square. Neither 99 is a perfect square, 9900 is also not a perfect square. So in the last two places, if you put zeros here, that logic is not satisfied. So the only logic that we are left with is last place 4, 4. Last place 4, 4. So last two places 4 and 4. 4 we can put. So I put 4 here. Now my dear friends, 4 I can put. So what is that? Clearly it is telling 12 square is equal to 144. So clearly 12 square is equal to 144. Okay, friends, we also know, just now we discussed, we also know if a number is a square, from 1 to 24, if you take from 1 to 24 any value as a, then 50 a square, then 50 minus a square, 50 plus a square, 100 minus a square, 100 plus a square, and so on, will have the same last two digits. So can I use that logic now? So that means if 12 square is having 44 as last two digits, obviously 50 minus 12 square, 50 plus 12 square and 100 minus 12 square will have the same last two digits. That means 12 square, 38 square, 62 square, 88 square will have the same last two digits. Will have the same last two digits. Am I right or not? 12 square, 38 square, 62 square and 88 square will have the same, the results of those numbers will have the same last two digits. Am I right? And we also know that number should be a multiple of 11. 12 is not a multiple of 11. Neither you can find any factor of 11 in the 12. 38 into 38, that there is no question of 11 there. 62 into 62 square, there is no question of 11 there. 88 into 88, yes, this satisfies the rule of 11. So 88, that is the only one. 88 square is equal to 7744 if you check it. So 7744 is the only 4-digit natural number which is a perfect square and which is in the form of x, x, y, y. Friends, now we shall see some questions based on that x, x, y, y format questions 7744. There are some direct questions, there are some previous questions. See, you can see the first question is a direct question. A number x, x, y, y is a perfect square of dash. Obviously 88. There is a direct question asked in a competitive exam. The answer is 88, because 88 square is equal to 7744 is the only such number we know, right? And we know, not we know, it is actually is the only 4-digit natural number which is in the form of xxyy. Now second one is somewhat interesting question. So a number xxyy is a perfect square. The difference between x and y is dash. Very simple, 7744. This is x and this is y. So difference between x and y, so it will be 7 minus 4, that is equal to 3. So option B is the correct answer for this question. So direct question, you need not check anything. Divisibility by 4, divisible by 11. Some people told me, sir, this is divisible by 11, and then taking an algebraic equation. So first we should know the basic fact that 7744 is the only 4-digit natural number which is a perfect square, which is in the form of xxyy. So many questions are coming based on this point. These are two of the most repeated questions that I have seen in recent days.